All right, in this episode, we talk about exercises for outfielders to increase velocity
and how to calculate your power to weight ratio.
Porcio, Stephen Godani here at the @TopVelocity hashtag Pitch Tip Show, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, @TopVelocity hashtag Pitching Tips. We ask your question. No, you ask the question. We answer on the show. Best we can. Anything we do here at Top Velocity. I'm going to be in Houston, February 20th, 21st. The Premier Baseball, The Zone, Legends, doing seminars. Sign up for them at TopVelocity.net/Houston. Then I'm going to be in Long Beach, California for a 3X Velocity Clinic, March 26th. Go to TopVelocity.net, go to Velocity Camps, 3X Velocity Camps. Sign up for March 26th. Use the coupon code 3XLB. It'll give you $500 off the clinic just because it's a one-day clinic, but you get everything that you get in the camps here, and we do it in one day. All right, cool. So what's our question for the day?
Trey Craig asks, Brent, I got another question. I play outfield too. What are some workouts can I do to increase my outfield velocity too?
All right, Trey, so the 2X programs is built for position players. So it talks about outfielders. It talks about throwing mechanics from all positions. And of course, we modify our throwing drills in the 3X program to fit those mechanical movements. That's why it becomes 2X, because you don't extend the knee. You're not a full leg driver, okay? It's more because you have a lot of energy from your momentum to your throw. It's more into rotation. It's ankle and hip extension, call it 2X, okay? And the lifting the same. You know, the lifting, the Olympic approach, periodization model, it's actually a little bit more intense just because pitchers tend to be weaker than outfielders or position players. So it's the same thing. You need to learn the biomechanics of high velocity throwers in the field, and we have that set in 2X programs. We have the biomechanics or the drills that teach you those movements that you need to work on. And then you have the strength and conditioning approach to increase your power, strength, speed, mobility. So we mold you into that high velocity outfielder or high velocity shortstop or high velocity catcher, or wherever you want to work for ball speed. 2X programs is going to have all you need, Trey. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, just with the program, when you're taking it and putting it into position players or putting it into pitchers or putting it into football players or putting it into soccer people, like biomechanics are biomechanics. And when you start adding in the lifting, the programming, and becoming a better athlete, you can really apply this just to about anything. So that's why it's something that, like the lifting for the pitching and the lifting for the position players, it's not all that much different. We're trying to make everybody bigger, faster, stronger. The biomechanics might be slightly different, but really you can take this and put it into anything when you're trying to make somebody bigger, faster, stronger, and apply it to really any sport.
Yeah, it's the top velocity approach, which is study the biomechanics. What case studies show us that high velocity pitchers or high velocity position players or what they are actually doing. We have drills to help train those movements better, and then we develop the athleticism to be able to perform those movements the way these high velocity guys do. It all works together to map what these high velocity athletes do. You know, we're not going to reinvent the wheel here. Guys do it every day. We admire those guys. We want to be like those guys. We should want to be like those guys. So, hey, science shows us how they move. So let's engineer our programs to move like those guys. That's what I did with these 3X and 2X programs. Mm-hmm. Good question. Next question.
Aiden Ward asks, how do you calculate your power to weight ratio?
Okay, Aiden, I wanted to take this question because a lot of guys ask this question. Power to weight ratio is how we know, or it gives us an understanding of how explosive you are as an athlete. We all know in pitching and anything we do in speed oriented, how fast we can move our bodies has a lot to do with how fast we throw something, we swing something, we move we run. So power to weight ratio tells us how much power can we push over our body weight. Olympians are over 2 times body weight, which is unbelievable. We're trying to get as close to that as we can, but we probably won't. So I say if you can get 1.3 to 1.5 times your body weight, you're in an elite level, because if you see the guys who come into camps here, they're barely at 1 times their body weight. They barely can move weights in an explosive manner equaling their body weight. So in my experience and just in understanding how this works, is the more you are able to move explosively over your own body weight, the better you're going to move through the mechanics that are typical of how explosive high velocity pitchers move, right? It's power pitching. So power to weight, power pitching, right? So how do we calculate that? So I said a 1.3 to 1.5. Olympians are over 2 times. I've seen guys move who can do 150% of their body weight. I've seen them move in anything, and it's impressive, wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. Guy who can clean 150 times, running 50% of his body weight, probably jumps well over 30 plus inches, depending on his size, okay? So to me, it's a level you have to get to be elite. Now people are gonna be like, well, I know a guy who's not strong. Understand this is different than strength. This is ability to move strength quickly. It's very different, okay? You can take a guy who squats 500 pounds, can't jump 26 inches. I mean, it's ridiculous, because he could easily convert that to power and jump a lot higher if you build some speed into it and did some speed movements. Some central nervous system, high activity central nervous system movements. But it doesn't always convert. So we're talking about speed and power. That's really what power is, okay? So I kind of lost my train of thought, but 150% is 130 to 150% is what we set as goals. So don't be calling me. I get this all the time. Don't be calling me. Program's not working for me. My power to weight ratio is barely my body weight. You're not throwing 90? That's weird, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I get that. So to understand, this is really a pivotal piece to what we're doing here. So if I take my body weight, I'm 210 pounds right now, or 215. I'll do 215. I'm gonna go times 1.5, and I get 322 pounds. I'd have to clean that, okay? So I was 235 the most when I was playing pro ball. I'd say, yeah, okay, let's just do 235 times 1.3, because I was 6'2". Somebody weighs 235 pounds, 6'2". I'd say you're a 1.3 guy. So that's 305 pounds. I probably was 295. So I was like 1.28. I was knocking on the door. But there were games I was 94, and there was games I was 88. That would have helped a lot, okay? But that's what got me to 94, because when I was 85, I could clean 220, barely my body weight. But if I'm, how much you weigh?
165 right now.
Steven's 165, how tall are you?
5'10".
5'10". So at times now he's under 6 feet. I rarely would find someone under 6 feet who could be explosive anything less than 150% of the body weight. So I give those guys 1.5. So that's 247, that's 250. Where are you now?
215.
He's 215, he's on his way. Do you feel, as you've gone up, do you feel you move quicker on the mound?
100%.
100%, right? So you think when you got to 250, there's a good chance you'd be throwing 90.
I think I'd be a completely different athlete.
You'd have the potential, right? Because it says potential. He then has to go and put it through all the movements.
Yeah.
Make sure your mobility is there to support it.
Yeah.
And your timing is there to support it.
Yeah.
So if you clean 250, your mobility was there to put you in the positions, and you timed it perfectly, would you expect to be throwing 90?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the goal here. So power to weight is 1.3 to 1.5. That's our goals, depending on your size. If you're a little guy, you're more 1.5. If you're a big guy, more 1.3. That's our goals, and you calculate that by taking your body weight times it times 1.3 or 1.5, and you know where you need to be. So don't come calling with the 3X program that's not working for you, and your power to weight isn't in those ranges. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of your time. Okay? So, anything you want to add?
I would just add, like, getting to train with Matt Bruce and the guys that he's training, and how much weight they're moving, and just seeing how fast that they move and how powerful they are. I think I would want everybody, before even like coming to a camp, if we could just have them just in here just showing the movements and stuff and how fast they move, how explosive they are, how strong they are, how mobile they are, and then be like, okay, now let's take a quarter or half of what they can do, let's build it, and then let's put it on the mound with our baseball experience. And then I think people would it would open their eyes to the holy shit.
Well, the coolest thing, and I put Coach John Heisinger's thing here. John had learned about Olympic lifting through me, but he became more convinced on Olympic lifting when he met Matt Bruce.
Yeah.
He did this great little video. If you want to see his video on it, talks about it, I'll post it here. But here's another picture. It's something weird when you meet someone like Matt Bruce and you see their body and you know what they can do. 450 pounds or 440 pounds at 170 pounds.
Yeah.
It convinces you.
Just seeing those athletes, what it could do. You put it in perspective that you don't need to be them, but you just want a piece of them,
right?
Because you can.
But
see
even you standing next to Matt Bruce, did you feel like he was just so much bigger than you?
No, not
that was the weird part.
That was what we were talking about, in ABCA, when we were walking around, little did they know that this is the strongest human being they've ever met in their life.
I know. Matt Bruce is walking around ABCA, and no one in that entire place is as explosive and as strong as that man.
Yeah.
And you can't even pick that up. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't know unless you saw the video.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so power to weight ratio, that's how you calculate it, and that's what you need to work for, 1.3, 1.5. Okay, good question. Go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at TopVelocity, #PitchTips, #BaseballTips. Ask your question we answer on the show. Come check out the 2X, 3X camps down here. We got a 2X camp coming up in April. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out, sign up. Come down and work with us at 2X camps. See you on the next episode.
Yeah. Hold on. We them boys. We them boys.